Yeah. Just looking at the Smithsonian, yeah, January 2018 or 16 or something, 2018. Yeah. You know, I'm concerned because I keep spending my life explaining what the law says, and you're spending your lives obstructing my right to have the law enforced. Now, there are certain things that I can do to continue to expose the crime of keeping me from my sons. And it might not involve copying and pasting more emails. Now, are you going to let me talk to them? Mhm. You know, I am a man. I got to thinking about the sign that uh, civil rights, I guess you'd say resistors, or those that wanted their civil rights enforced. Yeah. And they had to identify themselves as men. Now, you would think, looking at the face of this man, that this would have been self explanatory, but law enforcement during that time didn't think that black people were actually men or women. Yeah. Now, this is such a simple sign. I am a man. And they have the National Guard there with their bayonets, and they got some tanks over here. Yes, yes, yes. But why is it that actual American citizens had to go to such great lengths to explain why it was they were having their civil rights violated? What don't you understand about the 14th Amendment? Now, I've explained that you don't understand about being a father, and you've cost me the right to have the tender years of my sons because since July 2nd of 2011, you said I was fucking crazy, but you didn't give me any notice or opportunity to be heard. You issued a dissolution of marriage where there was no opportunity to be heard. There was no actual documentation. There was no dissolution of marriage. Now, am I going to have to get a sign and walk around the city saying, I am a man? I would think that it was very upsetting to those in Memphis, those civil rights marchers. Could you not see that this is a man? Now, I know this face is white. Am I any different than this face right here? Now, the civil rights movement, when I lived there in 76, the city wanted to tear down the Lorraine Hotel. They said to forget this ever happened. Supporting the effort to convert it to a museum is one of the best things Memphis ever did. Without question, civil rights tourism matters to Memphis. Oh, the tourism of the civil rights movement of 1968. There are people that like to go visit where they had a civil rights movement. And there's nobody in law enforcement that understands the crime of taking a man's son without any due process of law. There's no possible fucking way you don't understand. Now, you took my sons because you issued fraudulent court orders where you did not protect my civil rights. Do we all need to go visit as tourists Memphis to understand what he's saying? Now, I know various activist groups in Memphis, even though but how the National Civil Rights Museum, Criminal Justice Center downtown, is there nobody in the United States of America that doesn't understand civil rights? Now, why is it that as an American citizen, you don't understand why you have to enforce them? How can you not understand that? Do you have no recollection of what happened in the 60s during the civil rights?